coming up on the next episode of Zuzu All Grown Up.
Today, the one and only, the extraordinary Sir Dr. Walt Whitman. He's the founder and CEO of Soul Children of Chicago, a Grammy award-winning choir. Over the past 5 generations, he has taken a holistic approach to unity, humanity, culture, and expression. He joins us today and discusses educating minds, elevating spirits, and enlightening souls through music. That's next on Zuzu, All Grown Up.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
You're now listening to Zuzu All Grown Up.
She's been featured in more than 20 films from the early days of film and television.
He is a psychotherapist and her loving husband.
Together, they're on a mission to brighten your day and your life.
It's a time to smile, a time to laugh, a time to expect more.
It's time to get inspired with your hosts, Karolyn Grimes and Dr. Chris Brunell.
It's time to meet Zuzu, all grown up.
Do you believe that life is wonderful in principle, but for some reason just isn't so consistently in practice? Every life will have its ups and downs. But have you ever thought that if there were only more people around you encouraging, uplifting, and even inspiring you, then life would be more fulfilling? If only people like George and Mary Bailey were in your inner circle, then life could truly be wonderful all the time? If so, we've got good news for you, because you can find such people on this podcast and at zuzunetwork.com. This podcast is the vision of Karolyn Grimes, Zuzu, and Dr. Chris Brunell, illustrating how the timeless message of It's a Wonderful Life can be and is applied to our modern lives and situations. Indeed, when you take that message to heart, your life will become immeasurably more wonderful. Visit us at zuzunetwork.com and listen to this podcast series to learn more about how. Now sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy another episode of Zuzu, All Grown Up.
We're pleased to welcome to today's show Dr. Walt Whitman, founder and CEO of Soul Children of Chicago.
And I have to say, I heard a little bit of music from this episode. I was impressed. It is wonderful.
I think I saw some tears from you, actually.
You did see tears. It's gorgeous. So stick around.
Get ready for miracles. Get ready for Zuzu. All Grown Up.
Today's guest has a name you are sure to recognize, Walt Whitman. If you're thinking of the 19th century poet and journalist, he's not that one, but he's every bit as worthy of your attention. He's Sir Dr. Walt Whitman, and he is the founder and CEO of Soul Children of Chicago, the nation's oldest internationally acclaimed, Grammy Award-winning youth gospel choir. He has an inspirational, awe-inspiring story to share with us today. It's my honor to welcome Dr. Walt Whitman to the show. Karolyn and Chris, over to you.
Today we're joined by Dr. Walt Whitman, and he's going to play a video right now so we can hear the music before we start discussing the choir.
America to South Africa, it is time to make a better day. Awake, all ye nations, heed the call to all society. Wake, all ye people, if you care about humanity. China, Nigeria, Italy, hear what I have to say. India, South America, open your ears. Let's make a better day. Away, all ye nations, heed the call to all society. Awake, all ye people, if you care about humanity. Awake, all ye nations, heed the call to all society. Awake, all ye people, if you care about humanity. Depends on me and you. We've got work to wake up. It depends on me and you. We've got work to do. Oh, it depends on me and you. Wake up, America. We've got together we can spread the love. Wake up somebody. We need to spread the love. It depends on me and you. You and me and me and you. Yeah. It depends on me and you. We've got to come together now.
Wake up! Somebody say, wake up!
Wow.
That's off of our new latest project.
For listeners who didn't get to see that, I'm telling you, he can move.
That was just a little small thing.
Yeah, just a little warm up.
Wow. You've really got talent, let me tell you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We've been doing this a long time.
So you're out of Chicago. You started the Soul Children of Chicago Grammy Award-winning youth choir many years ago.
1981.
Oh my goodness. Uh-huh.
Celebrating 43 years.
Were you in kindergarten when you started this, or?
You're my best friend already. I love you.
What I saw that visually, a beautiful piece, is that it's about us coming together and caring for one another and loving one another. It came across so strongly.
That was intentional. The whole message of saying, reach the nations, that we all have something to do, that the fighting, all of this hatred, the stuff that our division in our nation, all of that stuff is just because there's so much selfishness inside of the people that it says, hey, break down those barriers, break down that hatred and that racism, and let's come together. Let's begin to find out that we can do more together than we can apart.
I know the music is the primary objective, but there's so much the choir learns along this way. You're educating them about a lot of things, about life, and also their talents as well, and being able to express that in the most powerful way that they can. So with your talent and experience in the gospel music, how were you inspired over 50 years ago to go into a music career and start with Soul Children of Chicago program for children in Chicago?
It really started from my experience with the Gospel Music Workshop of America, which is the James Cleveland, who was considered the king of gospel. One of the persons that took me under their wings was this young man. His name was Robert Freisand. He wrote the song God Is. It's a gospel song that is really well known, and he was my godfather, and that sort of has become my song. And in the process, me going into the Gospel Music Workshop of America, I got a chance to work with the youth department, and the youth department at that time was like 1,200 kids. And I got a chance to direct the choir. I got a chance to play the organ for the first time for a mass choir of 3,000. My first recording sessions when I was, I guess, 17, 18, 19 in that area. I got a chance to experience all that. I saw a lot. And so I began to take all of those experiences. And then when 81 came, I took all that I had been experiencing over the years, and I started putting that into the Soul Children. And that's what it is. So the discipline came from the military. The music came from me experiencing gospel music on that global platform with the Gospel Music Workshop of America. I've always been raised as a church family, traveling wherever we would live. We'd always find a church. And so when I got to Chicago, when they decided to retire, I started the Soul Children in 1981. I do this as a disclaimer. I never really liked children's choirs, and I never really liked kids. You know, I said, God has a purpose for me. He knows, first of all, I would never, ever have done anything with a children's choir. In teaching, the kids in the class, I could hear them sing, and they mocked very well. And I said, well, if you can mock these artists, then you can mock this note that I'm going to give you. And then when I give you this note and give you that note, y'all can harmonize. And when I started finding out that I could get them to harmonize, then I created them and started training them like an adult choir, which is why when people hear them, they said, is that kids? They just happen to have a very mature sound. I just remember one time President Reagan was coming through. We were at this convention. We saw the kids. And so everybody, you know, always was like, oh, let's see the darling kids. So everybody got real close, because they didn't think they was going to sing. And then when they opened up their mouth, everybody went, oh, it was an amazing moment.
We'll join Karolyn and Chris in just a moment with more of Zuzu All Grown Up.
First, an important message.
Start your morning right with premium coffee roasts available at zuzunetwork.com and drink them in your Zuzu All Grown Up coffee mug. Also perfect for tea and hot chocolate.
Stay inspired throughout the day with the same gratitude journal used by Karolyn and Chris, and check out t-shirts, hats, books, Christmas keepsakes, and more at zuzunetwork.com/shop.
Join Zuzu's network today at zuzunetwork.com/join.
Karolyn is creating an international network of aspiring angels, everyday people who believe that they can help make the world a better place by making life better for even just one other person.
Let us know you want to earn your wings at zuzunetwork.com/join, and Karolyn and Chris will send you inspirational material to support you in your journey.
We're back with more Zuzu All Grown Up.
We know you've collaborated with renowned artists and organizations worldwide. Can you share some of them, and why you decided to work with them?
Well, yes, because of Soul Children, we do a lot with the corporate arena. We do a lot in the Jewish community. I just came back from Israel with the Rabbi Lowenstein there, and even just going into dealing with all of the international stuff that's going on. We went to the Gaza envelope, not the Gaza Strip, but just walked into the kibbutz and got a chance to hang out with the soldiers. Because I'm an Air Force brat, my father traveled, which makes me very much into the international side, because I lived in Greece and we lived in Alaska. I've been all over. All of my experiences, I pour that into the Soul Children. So the Soul Children themselves become global, which is one of the reasons why I call them the next generation of global leaders. And so that's kind of my concept. It's always been, and we've always trained them to be diverse. We can walk into any arena and to be able to reach whatever nation or whatever genre. Even we can go from atheist to Christian. We can do all of it in between and above. So we're not limited as a group. We're not a showcase group as much as we are a purpose-driven group. We're not the quote unquote, the children's choir. It's like, oh, look at the darling kids. So it breaks all the barriers. So we can do from young to old and everything in between.
Could you shed some light on the process of selecting children to become members of this prestigious group?
Basically, what happens is that when a kid comes in, I don't want to even say a kid, it's the family, because in order to be a part of the Soul Children, the family actually has to be involved. So it has to have some parent involvement before the kid can even be a part. And then once the kid gets in, they have to maintain a certain grade point average. So they have to be 2.5 or above, which is a B and above. Most of my kids are honor roll students. All of my kids, for the most part, graduate and go to college. So we have a high level of academics in the Soul Children, along with the singing, because I told them you can't teach what you don't know, and you can't lead where you don't go. So you got to be able to lead people in a way that's what makes you authentic, because you're not faking it. You got talent, but you have no character. I teach character. We teach purpose. We teach destiny, understanding that you are here for a purpose, fulfilling your destiny. The music is the vehicle for which you can go and do stuff and impart into other people, maybe older than you, younger than you, richer than you, poorer than you, whatever. Makes no difference.
How long can they participate in the program?
They start from 7 to 17. And we have an alumni group that's older than that for those people that want to stay and do whatever. That group is called One Soul. If we get a corporate event that normally they want a choir, but they don't want a children's choir, they just want a choir, but they want the Soul Children, the flavor of Soul Children, they just want it in an adult version. So I just take that alumni group, that people who always wanted to be in the Soul Children but couldn't, and now you're too old to be a child, so we can give you the opportunity as an adult to live out your fantasy.
I want to ask you how you got your name. Is it from Walt Whitman?
I'm a junior. My father is a senior, so I'm Walt Whitman Jr. My daddy is a senior. So yeah, that's where I got my name from. It's now in reference to Walt Whitman, the poet. I know him, Green Leaves of Grass. I know the poetry.
How do you select the children to travel?
So normally we have a traveling group when we would do tours to Italy and Spain and Israel and Nigeria and all these other places. I took a smaller group. When we travel in the States, it depends on where we're going and what the budget is. Whoever's bringing us has to pay for us to come. You know, a lot of times when you have groups like children's choirs, they treat you like a children's choir and they say, we're just going to give you an opportunity. I don't take those opportunities anymore. We're now artists. We've gotten awards. We've gotten Grammy Awards. We got a new project coming out by 3-time Grammy Award winner. How we generate revenue is when people say, hey, we want to support you. We want to bless you, or we want to hire you for something. I would just say this weekend alone, because we're so ingrained in the Jewish community, one of the young men who's celebrating his bar mitzvah, doing a concert, you know, when you're doing the Jewish bar mitzvah, there's always a community project. So he's putting on a concert, and half of the proceeds from that concert, as a part of his giving back, he's giving it to Soul Children. So those are the sort of the ways that we kind of get supported. You know, people that want to just, hey, be a blessing. And I don't know who watches your program. If you feel the need to say, hey, I want to help you continue on in 43 more years, do that too.
Do you have a website or anything where people can donate?
Absolutely. You can go to join.soulchildrenchicago.org. And you can go right there and it'll take you right there. So it is join.soulchildrenchicago.org, O-R-G. You can go and you can look at the website. You can see there's a video there and there's ways that you can donate and participate. Thank you. We're putting on a conference called Think Big Conference, Think Big 2.0, which is like a TED Talk for kids. And what we're doing is Think Big Technology, Think Big Entrepreneurship, Think Big Finance, and Think Big Entertainment. And we bring some of the best in the business to speak to youth, to be able to inspire them, to show them how to do it, to give them the keys to success. I really want to take that particular piece on the road. This is our second time doing it. That's why it's called Think Big 2.0. And we're filming it as a show. And so that we could be able to go into any state, any country, wherever we want to go, to begin to inspire kids and young people, no matter where they are and who they are, what color they are, what race they are, with success principles.
We need more of that. Now, you and your choir have performed on TV shows like Tamron Hall, Jam, PBS, and ABC Chicago. What have these experiences been like to share the gift of song and inspiration with your audiences?
As a children's choir, we're probably one of the most televised groups in reference to just being on shows. Like we've done Motown Special where we performed with all of the artists. We've done Oprah Winfrey. In fact, we were privileged to be able to do when Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey did their first duo together live on television. That was on Oprah Winfrey's show. And we were the group that was selected to back those two up. And that was the Prince of Egypt project. Every major television station we've had Jennifer Hudson, we've done Neil Diamond, we did Christmas in Washington with anybody that you can imagine. We did on the Opryland Country Christmas, all around.
You're just talented.
We're just blessed because even with this next project, we're making a TV show out of it. We're creating what we call the making of the Soul Children, which was, it used to be, you heard of making of the band, to show how we're able to do what we do and make it into a television series.
How many people do you have involved in your projects like this?
It kind of varies. The new CD project was being produced by Sir the Baptist. And so for that, it's like his team is doing it. The conference, we're just pulling our network together to, do what we do and make stuff happen. And that's how we do it. We just got 43 years. I've always had faithful people to work with us.
We'll join Karolyn and Chris in just a moment with more of Zuzu All Grown Up.
First, an important message.
To find out more about the organization featured in today's episode or a previous episode, and to learn more about how you can help, go to zuzunetwork.com/beanangel.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Zuzu's book club features recommendations from Zuzu herself on books she loves and thinks you will love also. All of the books that the club reads, fiction and nonfiction, are inspirational and uplifting. Folks, this is a life-enhancing club to be part of. You can sign up for free at zuzunetwork.com/book club. That's zuzunetwork.com/book club.
This is Zuzu, all grown up.
If you follow the projects and see the Soul Children's music, you will always see evolution. It will always be something going on to the next level. I'm always growing. I'm always expanding. And even now, like post-pandemic, I can't do what I did before. The way we did things before is not working for this generation. This is a generation that don't believe nothing. And if you don't have enough to keep their attention, they will tune you out very quickly. And so being open and able to trust where you're going, that you're willing, that I would have never necessarily done it like that per se, but I know that it's needed. And so for us to be able to do it, now the kids are excited. There's a new breed coming in. Everybody's like, it's like a new, fresh thing getting ready to happen, and we don't know which way it's going to go, but we just know it's good. This is solid music, but it's just new, it's fresh, it's innovative. It's definitely not what people know us for, because people will keep you in a box. Yes, when we started, we used to wear choir robes, but at this point, we don't do enough church to have a choir robe. We're in corporate America. We do a little bit of everything, so a choir robe ain't gonna work everywhere. We do church, but we don't do enough that will keep us working. In fact, in most cases, staying in the church arena, we would never grow, because they want to keep you doing the same thing you was always doing. Now we're able to do both sides, and we can bring something fresh to the church, because now we've got a group of kids who are minds like, let's expand, let's enlarge, let's do something greater, let's do something bigger. Well, the good thing about the Soul Children is that I can go from Hebrew, we got a whole Hebrew album. So we've got a whole traditional gospel album. Now we've got this contemporary kind of piece. So at any point in time, depending on our audience, I can go any way I want. We got a corporate piece that's specifically made for corporate America, that we cover all these songs that we can go into, and in most cases, and say anything about Jesus. But I don't need to say anything about Jesus, because Jesus is in me. So when you see me, you're going to see Jesus. So I don't need to say it. It's just there. You're going to feel it, even if you don't know it. People are going to know there's something. They know that there's something there. It don't have to be religious. I said, you can sing Mary Had a Little Lamb and sing it with the right kind of feel. And everybody be like, oh my goodness. We did it with the national anthem at an event at the Bulls game, Bulls and Lakers game. And we got another one coming up. And he was like, oh my God, why was I crying? I said, you sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, national anthem, we did everything. Just, it's who you are. Who are you? Yeah. Not what I do, it's who I am.
How do you feel about children today?
We did a test last week with a group of kids, what we call the Inglewood area, which is like very rough. And I wanted to see, how do you reach that group? And there was a bunch of boys. There was a basketball players, a couple of girls in there, but it was basically a bunch of boys. They're not into church. They're being forced in an experience. And I just wanted to see if what we do could be so transparent that it would touch them, and to find out how they responded to the kids. Because, you know, a lot of times if a kid don't like you, kids are always going to be truthful. They can be able to like,
Yeah.
or, you know, as a kids day tonight, they'll be in their phones or they have a hoodie on. But that wasn't the case. So I'm watching that and I'm saying, okay, we're on to something, that we can reach this generation that has been considered written off.
I tell you, we have enjoyed this so much today. That music is just fabulous. Oh my goodness. Do you have any records or any tapes or anything that people can purchase on your website?
You can go to any social media platform, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, anything. You can look Soul Children of Chicago up, or you can go online on YouTube and see all the videos. We got like 400 or 500 videos on the Soul Children of Chicago. If you just type in Soul Children of Chicago, or you could type in Walt Whitman and the Soul Children of Chicago, and you will see it on video. You can Google us. You can find us, find all of our projects online at any of the platforms. And I invite anybody that if you're coming to visit Chicago, you could go to Navy Pier right now to a place called Fly Over Chicago Center. The same person that built Epcot Center and Disney. It's a $40 million new project that has just opened up at Navy Pier. Fly Over Chicago features the Soul Children in this ride. It's an actual ride. You get rain, heat, and smell. It's like riding a roller coaster through the eye of a drone. And it is now going to be the new thing that's going to set Soul Children apart from everybody else because it's now a part of a tourist attraction. So I invite anybody that's listening, if you're coming to Chicago, go to Navy Pier and go to Fly Over Chicago. It'll be an experience like you've never, ever could imagine. Everybody's blown away at it. I'm blown away.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And I do hope that you have great success continued with your great group and your energy. And I'm super impressed. I really am. And it blew me away and made me cry. That takes a lot.
You've got something pretty special there.
Yes, you do.
That particular project, which is called Still Standing, was the project where we brought all 4 generations of Soul Children together. So from the beginning of 1981 all the way up to the present time, that song was one of the songs I wanted to do as a part of our outreach on a global for 43 years. That's 43 years of outreach. We got work to do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again. And remember, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
We got a song called Miracle Still Happens. Every time the bell rings, miracle still happens.
It has been our honor to have Sir Dr. Walt Whitman join us today and tell us about his work with the Soul Children of Chicago. What an incredible and awe-inspiring story. We hope you've been touched by today's episode. I know all of us here most certainly have been. I'm Seth Kennedy. Stay tuned for my takeaway. You're listening to Zuzu, All Grown Up.
Do you know someone who is earning their wings? Someone practicing kindness and service to others? Perhaps an organization or initiative helping make the world we live in a kinder, sweeter place.
Or maybe you've witnessed the miraculous, the divine, the magnificent in some way in your life, and you'd like to share it with others. Go to zuzunetwork.com/tellmystory and let us know more.
You may end up being featured on an upcoming episode of Zuzu All Grown Up. That's zuzunetwork.com/tellmystory. Now here's Seth Kennedy with today's parting thoughts.
Soul Children of Chicago has said that their work is that of feeding the soul. They do it in many ways, but chief among their work is feeding the soul through music. Sir Dr. Walt Whitman put his musical gifts to work to help feed children in his community. Those gifts now bless people across not only Chicago, but around the world. The other Walt Whitman, the poet, once said, "Now I hear the sound I love, the sound of the human voice, the revelation of the singing voice." It is indeed a true gift to hear the wonderful voices of the Soul Children of Chicago. A heartfelt thanks to all of its members and Dr. Walt Whitman for bringing them to us. I want to leave you, though, with quotes from other famous voices of yesterday and a thought to ponder. Oliver Wendell Holmes once said, "Many people die with their music still in them. Too often it is because they are always getting ready to live. Before they know it, time runs out." Henry David Thoreau said, "Most men lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with the songs still in them. Live your beliefs, and you can turn the world around." This is exactly what today's guest has done. Live his beliefs and not let the music in him and others stay hidden there. We hope you'll do the same and let your music be heard to the world. I'm Seth Kennedy. You've been listening to Zuzu, All Grown Up.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Zuzu All Grown Up.
We hope you've been inspired to live your most wonderful life now and to help those around you do the same.
Remember, no matter what you're going through, no matter who you are, there are people who care about you and your life makes a difference.
It is a wonderful life.
Check out ZuzuNetwork.com for more on today's and other episodes, including transcripts and merchandise you won't want to be without.
New episodes are coming soon.
For transcripts of today's broadcast, go to ZuzuNetwork.com/transcripts.
Watch a video clip of today's episode at www.instagram.com/Zuzu, all grown up. That's www.instagram.com/Zuzu, all grown up. Then click on the Reels tab from the top of the center of the page. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at www.instagram.com/Zuzu, all grown up. That's www.instagram.com/Zuzu, all grown up. Catch up on past episodes and discover currently premiering and upcoming episodes as well, and get helpful links and exclusive clips from our recordings. That's www.instagram.com/Zuzu, all grown up.
Zuzu All Grown Up with your hosts Karolyn Grimes and Dr. Chris Brunell.
Announcer and guide Seth Kennedy.
Executive producer Kevin R. Stillmock.
Coordinating producer Holly Ann Way.
Technical producer Stella Joelle.
Managing producer Karina Filatova. A Wonderful Land production.
In collaboration with Radio Wonderful.